episode 2 of the Unhinged Wrestling Podcast. Um, the guest today, if I get the name wrong, she will kick my ass. Her name is Miss Hana. Is that right?
Thank you. Thank you.
In a little bit, I'll mess it up, and I guarantee that I'll eventually pay for this.
Oh, that's all right. Just think of it like Honolulu or Hanukkah, just without like the endings, obviously.
So we'll just start calling you Miss Hanukkah, and then I'll see how long that works out for me.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about this PC era. So, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
It'll cost me all the bookings and all the wrestling companies that are shut down.
Yeah, I know, right?
So how have you been dealing with the whole shutdown with the pandemic?
Oh God, it's just it. You don't want my opinion on that.
Oh, sure I do.
Put it this way. You know, we all got to do what we got to do, and now I work at a healthcare facility, and I thought I'd never be able to do that, and obviously in the time of need when you're not wrestling, and when because I also teach acrobatics at a dance studio, and when both those jobs kind of go away because of this COVID, you're just like, what do you do? So now I work at a home for the mentally challenged, and that is quite interesting. That's all I can say.
I like to stay away from homes for the mentally challenged because people are so convinced that I should live there. So, especially when they see me in the ring.
But the facility I work at, they're it's more of assisted living, so they're a lot more high, which is really cool because then you can actually like talk to them and have conversations with them, and you get to know their quirks, and it's just it's really cute. And then when they just go into behavior, obviously that's but we try to get them out of it as calm as possible, and it really brings out like something different about you. You know what I mean? And it really appreciates, like, you'll really appreciate life better. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I worked for a little while at a one of the assisted living facility that was for similar to that. It was all older people, and I was just in the activities. So I was one of the ones got to do that kind of stuff with them, and I wasn't there more than 2 or 3 months, but I loved it.
Yeah, I've been here since it started. Yeah.
So, any wrestling at all, or has it just gone to a complete standstill?
I mean, it pretty much has gone to a standstill. I mean, I am going to be working for a company up in Michigan on August 8th, I believe. Information is on my Facebook page, my Instagram, Twitter. It's Miss Hana 419, MISSHANNAH 419. And but yeah, no, you can go ahead and check it out there. But besides that, there really hasn't been anything. It's like, it just really is depressing, pretty much. But we got to get through it, and this is a time to where people, we can revamp. As wrestlers, we can go ahead and train more. Obviously, I need to go back to training a little bit.
Same here.
But see, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. But still, you know what I mean? It's a good, thought process. And like now we can, rest our bodies, which I know a lot of people like, we need that time. You know what I mean? To rest. But we all have that drive in us to where like, oh, let's go to the next show. Oh, okay, no, let's make this better than the last. Let's go ahead and keep this. And now, like, so in a way it's a good thing, but in another way, no. I miss wrestling so much.
Oh, me too. I've gotten to where I'm now telling people to just wear the mask, whether they agree with it or not, just so we can get through this, so I can wrestle again.
Don't get me started on there, because I believe in conspiracy theories. So.
Oh, so do I, but that's why I'm like, it's like, I don't care about the politics involved. I don't care if the masks work or not. Put them on so we can wrap this up so I can wrestle.
I know. I just, that's a whole nother topic. I'll wait for that one. Right. I want to see how we do end up coming out of this first.
Yeah.
I start going like, oh, well, you know, this and this, and oh, what about the like?
Yeah, right at the end of February, I dropped about $400 on new ring gear, and it all came in right after the last show before the shutdown.
Oh my gosh!
So I've got a bag full of new gear I'm just looking at.
I have 3 things from Wish that still has not come, and I ordered it, I think, a week after the COVID thing. 3 things. It was a ring light for my phone, some like eyebrow stencils, and what was the other thing? I don't even remember the third thing. That's how long ago it's been. Just, but you know,
That's okay. When it finally arrives, it'll probably arrive with free COVID included.
probably wouldn't be surprised.
So, what led to you
I was
making
there,
huh?
by the way.
Ah,
Twisted sponsor me. I love you back.
so what flavor is it?
Oh, this is raspberry.
I've had
But
that one before.
like raspberry has like a really like it's a sweet but tarty taste. I usually drink blackberry, like normally, like throughout the year, because that's more of a sweeter taste. But during the winter, forget blackberry, forget raspberry, frosted cherry is where it's at. I've tweeted them about like, you know, how they need to make more and everything like that, because everywhere I would go, I would buy it all and they wouldn't stock up. And they would all say, oh, well, it's the distributor. They're not giving it to us. They're not giving it to us. And I'm like, Twisted Tea, what's wrong with you guys? You need to make more. And they're like, just tell your, you know, like your gas stations and your carryouts that you want it. And I'm like, they can't get it.
Yeah, I used to back when I ran a bar down here, we started carrying Twisted Tea, and I'd never heard of it. But the rep comes in, he's like, "It's the greatest thing." So I bought like 8 cases, and it took me forever to sell it because down here, everyone's afraid to try new things. I tried them all, and I'm like, "These are great." So eventually, I think I ended up drinking them all myself.
What part of Ohio are you in?
I'm about 20-30 minutes outside of Rutland.
Oh, yeah. No, you're down in the South.
Yeah. If
Where
you know where Ravenswood, West Virginia is.
and you got your Busch Light, and you've got your Bud Light, and you got your Budweiser, Miller Lite, and feel fancy. And if you do anything else, they think you're weird.
We had people that asked for Coors Banquet.
Oh yeah, that's another really good one.
I was hey, something different.
Yeah, I know, right? No, but like up here where I'm at, because I'm up in like the Sandusky area by Cedar Point, you do have some people that actually like want craft beers, and you've got people who want, you know, the fancier name brand beers. That's what we want to call it, like, you know, Sam Adams, which I don't really. I mean, like, yeah, they're a craft beer, but they're more mainstream, so they obviously had to like, you know, cut back on their ingredients and stuff like that. I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm just saying, like, you know, quality from where it started to like now, it's But, you know, that's neither here nor there. I can't really drink beer. I have to drink like a tea or a mixed drink or something that's like really sweet, and I can't taste the alcohol, because like you would think that I would love to taste alcohol, but I don't. It makes me want to just like, ugh. Like when I don't understand how people can just do shots after shots, if I'm just looking at them like, ugh. You know what I mean? I like having just like, you just take your time, you drink it just like you're drinking pop or something or water, and you're just, you know, and then you're easily, you know, in the groove. And then that way, if you have to get sober, all you got to do is stop drinking, obviously, and you'll get sober quicker than taking a bunch of shots, and then you're not going to be sober until like the next afternoon.
Yeah. For me, my big things have always been whiskey. And the only other not whiskey that I would drink would be probably Smith and Forge hard cider. Have you ever tried it?
And it's kind of
It was strong, but
like what I used to do when I bartended. I'd put a cinnamon sugar rim on the glass, and we'd have what's it called? It was like a Red's Apple Ale, or if it was oh god, what's that other one? Oh god, I'm having such a brain fart of this one beer, but it's like it's beer, but well, not a beer, it's a cider. And it'd be on draft, and we just, put this cinnamon sugar rim on it. And a lot of people liked it like that, especially with frosted glass. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, my latest thing with right now is this. Have you ever had Bird Dog whiskey?
No, served it, but I've never had it.
I don't know if you can read that there.
Oh, hold on, I gotta. No,
I
no,
picked
I've
that up a while back, and it's amazing.
of the Fishbone. No, not Fishbone. It was, God, there's another Dogfish. There you go.
I could probably go all night talking about liquor and stuff like that, but it's technically supposed to be a wrestling podcast.
Yeah, wrestling bartender. If you want to talk
Would-
drinks, like talk drinks. Like I actually used to never drink, which is a shocker since I am drinking a raspberry twisted tea. Twisted Tea, please sponsor me. But I'm just kidding. Not really. But
I'm
anyways,
not kidding at all. She's just serious. And
yeah, no, well, I mean, like, it's, well, not only is it really good, it's a lot healthier than drinking a beer, you know what I mean? And plus, like, if you're not really like a heavy drinker like me and you just want to just like have like a chill moment, oh my God, like these teas, like, especially drinking during the day and you're in the pool and oh my gosh. No, but seriously, like I actually used to never drink. I didn't start drinking actually until about like 2 years ago when this is actually kind of funny. I actually didn't start drinking until about 2 years ago when I started dating my boyfriend. But he showed me that, like, because I was always a DD. That was another reason why I never drank, is because I figured out in the DD anyways. So I'd be the one mixing the drinks, making sure people were all, good and everything like that. And then that way, because that's another reason how we met, is he was at the bar I was working at and he got way too drunk. So I was like, I'll drive you home, because he only lived like, not even like $5 away. So I was going to walk home. And, yeah. And then he's like, oh, well, here, come up to my door. And I was like, yeah, he was. And then he tried to kiss me. But then I did the whole Mr. Miyagi. Oh, yeah. Oh, and he's from Boston. So he's just like, and he's got like that flat bill, like hat looking thing, or it's like a Hannah hat or something from like Ireland. And he's just like got back and everything like that. And I'm just looking at him like, yeah, dude, don't touch me. Like, I don't know what you thought. Like, no, I'll make sure that you get in your house, go get in your bed, do whatever, don't care. But but yeah, no, but he started being a DD as well. And so I was like, oh, well, okay, well then I can actually start to drink. And then I knew all these fancy drinks, but I didn't want to have to buy the liquor, for my house so I can try it. Plus I wanted to try things that were like, that you can get it at a carry out. And my one friend, she said that, you should really try these twisted teas. And honestly, I believe the hype, the whole, oh, it's such a wussy drink and such a grilly thing. And well, I'm letting you know, like, no, this keeps you hydrated. It does have a lot of sugar though, I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, like, as long as you do a lot of cardio, I mean, like, well, I mean, obviously I got to do a little bit of cardio, but you know what I mean? It's just,
when I was managing the bar, one of my policies for new hires was make a list of everything that we have that you have drank, and then make me a list of everything you haven't, because now you have to try it all.
Yeah.
And that was always everyone's favorite night, was that first night when I'm like, you're not bartending, you're getting drunk and you're trying all this stuff. So when someone asks you, you can tell them what it tastes like.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing is like me as a bartender, I ask people about like, their tastes and, and what they like and everything like that. Like if some people like a really sugary drink, then I'll start thinking about like all these other drinks that, oh my God, there's this drink. It's called the Bad Blood. Oh my God. I used to make this all the time. And I got it from he's not like a preacher now, but like he like left the church, well, didn't leave the church, but like he stepped down as being a preacher or something, so that way he could get married. That, like, I don't know what that is, but yeah, he came into the bar and he's like, yeah, you should try out this drink. And I'm looking at him like, no, I'm not gonna go and try it. Like, because it had Crown Apple, it had Oh God, man, it's been so long since I've even made it. It's got Crown, it's got vodka, it's got cherry vodka, it's got um I think a rum and like sour apple schnapps and no, not watermelon. Blue curacao and or
Mm.
Caraco or whatever you want to call it.
I think you had
And
it right the first time.
yeah, curacao. And something else. And it only had a splash of Sprite. Dude, I'm telling you, with all this alcohol, it had more alcohol in it than a Long Island. And I gotta get the recipe because I know I got it saved on my phone because I was like, I'm keeping this recipe. Like, dude, it tastes like Kool-Aid.
Oh, wow.
Kool-Aid.
I need the actual recipe later.
Dude, I will send it to you. Oh my gosh, it's called the Bad Blood. And the fact that the whole story behind it is like, yeah, I got it from a dude that used to be a preacher.
Yeah.
It randomly in the bar, in the hole in the wall bar that I worked at, where like, oh my God, man, that was such an awful bar that I worked at. But y'all got to start somewhere. But yeah, man, God, that's such a good drink. But it will mess you up like fast.
Sounds like the kind of drink you'd need to watch some of those old IWA shows I used to work for.
That's a no comment.
So, what possessed you to get into this business? Because I've always said I believe that anyone that wants to get into wrestling has to be at least somewhat brain damaged.
Well, yeah, just
Speaking
not
from my own experience.
like I'm not brain. Well, I mean, now I'm probably brain damaged, but like before, I wasn't damaged like that. It was more of a mentality brain damage, where long story short, I used to do cheerleading and gymnastics and all that, and that's how I became a coach. And when I got injured, I had dislocated my hip, surprisingly not doing any gymnastics or cheer at all. It was literally jumping on a trampoline with two other people, one of those round ones, the unsafe ones, the ones that people are like always get hurt on. You always want a rectangle one because it's an even like stretch all around. The round ones are not. Well, the bounces got all out of place and my leg literally went like right out of socket. Like, oh God, man, just and bouncing. Oh God, just even thinking about it just like is awful. Well, anyways, so my dad, mind you, again, his mentality is, I mean, he was born in like the late 40s, early 50s. Okay, so his mentality is still like anything new age. It's nothing, no, old. You know what I mean? Like he's still in the mentality of like the 1960s.
New, bad, old, good.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Like, dude. And so both my mom and my dad were like, oh, well, you'll never tumble again. You'll never do anything like that ever again because you dislocated your hip. You are now messed up for life because you had which, yeah, it is a serious injury, dislocating your leg from your hip socket. Like, ooh, like doing anything from any socket is, obviously bad. You know what I mean? But because back in those days, they didn't have, you know, the knowledge that we have now, especially, about our health and muscle building and all that other type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like how many gymnasts alone just, okay. Shawn Johnson, for example, she had ACL surgery. 4 years later, boom, she was still in the Olympics. Usually after ACL surgery, like even for basketball players, like you're pretty much done.
Yeah.
But because science and health and everything has just, exploded in the past, like 20, 30 years, you know what I mean? They didn't understand. They just, automatically thought that. And that really put a big depression on me, right? So, becoming a coach and, yada, yada. But then, there was something about me where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to at least do bridges. I know I can do bridges even with, a bad hip. That's fine, And slowly but surely it got me it got to where I was tumbling again. And before I started tumbling again, I was like, okay, because I was watching wrestling and stuff at the time. And I'm watching it and I'm like, I bet I could do that. I bet I could do that. And, you know, oh, and that's another thing. I also had an ex-fiance when I was 18 when Total, or not Total Divas, but when the Diva Search came out for the first year, I wanted to do that, but he goes, no, they want people who are healthy. You've already been injured, yada, yada. So he had the same mindset too. And obviously I'm not with him now, but yeah, and so, you know, and I, you know, oh, you know, I'm all sad for myself. And when I got to coaching again, you know, I'm like, if I can tumble again, I'm going to try it. I'm going to at least try it. That way I can say on my grave that I've tried pro wrestling, because I miss performing. I miss, you know, competing and doing all that type of stuff, especially with gymnastics and cheer and, you know, and all that. Right. And so, you know, started tumbling and I was like, okay, typed up, you know, wrestling schools, and I looked at a couple, and I looked at OVW, and they agreed to do private lessons with me because I'm such a, you know, a chicken shit, like when it comes to stuff. Like when you've been taught your entire life to land on your feet or land on your hands or tuck and roll, now all of a sudden you have to learn how to land on your back and land on your face and do all this, and yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hold people back in the classes. So can I just have some private lessons until I feel I'm comfortable enough to do? And they were so amazing with me. They helped me out so much. They made me like get the bug, and they needed, oh, and they needed somebody for a show. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it. Like, you know, okay. And I did it, and it just, oh, it bit me ever since. It just, oh, that's such an experience I'll never forget. That overcomeness of, for so long you can't do something because of, you know, health and muscles and your bones and stuff, and then overcoming it and just like, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I ruptured 2 discs in my back before I ever got into the business.
And you're wrestling?
Mm-hmm. I was working at Walmart, and we were changing out the steel in the walk-in cooler for the produce department.
Okay.
And I was up on a ladder, and we had a pallet full of stuff behind us. Well, I go to try to reach out, and I fall backwards and land in one of those big, heavy plastic produce crates. I jumped out of it, stretched, felt fine, worked a few more days, and then one day I got up to go to work, and I couldn't move my legs.
Oh,
Like I
damn.
could, but they hurt. It felt like a pinched nerve. And I ended up going to get checked out and found out that I had messed up 2 discs.
That's
And then they
crazy.
found 2 other ones that are genetically been messed up that aren't set right. Instead of meeting like this, they're like that.
Damn.
So people say when I bump, they're like, your bumps are ugly. I'm like, yeah. I'm landing all on my upper back because my lower back can't take it.
I wouldn't be bumping. When it comes to the spine, man, that is one thing where like it freaks me out. One time I taught a girl, she had scoliosis really bad, but she was still able to do a bridge. She was able to kick over, and she pushed herself through it, right? I got her tumbling, got her doing back handsprings. Oh my gosh, like no one thought that she'd be able to do it, right? Well, she started having another growth spurt, and she kept going like this. And the doctors were like, we have to put titanium rods in her spine, or else she's going to like end up being deformed if we don't fix this now. And so she was off for a year, and she came back, and she was like, she grew. I mean, obviously, because she's not hunched over anymore, she like grew. And I'm looking at her, and I'm like, can you like, you know, move like this, or are you still like real stiff? She goes, no, I can move. I can do this. The doctor says I can do it. As long as we take it real slow. And I told her, I was like, girl, we are going to go the slowest that we can do because you have rods in your back. Like I seen the x-rays and everything, and they're just like this. And I'm like, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, I ended up teaching her a standing back tuck.
Oh, nice.
And then she, you know, going to college, and I think, you know, on like some, you know, small cheer squad, and it was, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But God, man, that was scary. I did every time like I made her go backwards, like just to do a bridge when she first came back. I go, "Are you okay?" Like seriously, she's like, "Yeah." Oh my God, I just don't want you to get hurt. I'm fine. You gotta love those teenagers.
Oh yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Sad thing for me when I got into the business and stuff was I was always worried about my back, and now I'm 7 years in, and I've so far at least I've not had any back related injuries or problems at all. But I've probably had about 8 to 10 concussions.
Oh wow. I
Uh,
know for a fact one.
8 of them were in a 2 year stretch.
Damn.
I don't wrestle for that company anymore. So, what? How long? How far back was it when you got into the business?
Like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe 5. Like 5. Yeah, about 5 years ago when like I got into it, but like 4 years ago when like I actually got to like be in a show and everything. That was just
The
so cool. I'll never forget that. And
yeah, that
especially down at OVW and the teachers and the students and just like everybody, like, oh my God. Oh, that was a really cool experience.
was it. Was that when Al Snow was already in charge, or
No, I mean, like I've been down there since Al Snow has taken charge, but no, I was there when Danny Davis and
okay?
Matt Capitelli, Rick Rogers, Nick Dinsmore. Granted, now like I'm not like, and I still say this to this day because I personally don't think I'm still 100,000% like fully trained. You know what I mean? Because due to, always my work schedules and me wanting to like go to places that are 6.5 hours away, you know what I mean? Like I obviously can't, do that as much as I can, but I try to do as much homework as I can. Just watching, because it's not like, I got friends out here that, will want to practice with me. Like they think it's weird. And I'm like, shut up. Like even my own boyfriend, because he used to be a Muay Thai fighter. And I'm like, let me try some moves on you. And he goes, no, don't. Because I will just naturally just like throw. And I'm just like, you can't control it. Hello, like, isn't that the whole idea of like, when you spar and everything, you got to be able to control it. And he goes, yeah, but usually the people that I work with, like, we just go full out. And I'm just like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So when I first said I was going to do this, my parents were like, "You're going to do that stuff? It's fake." And I'm like, "Shut up! Don't use that word. I don't want to get in trouble." Um, you actually, I think um, have you wrestled anywhere since the last TWA show? I know that was right around lockdown time.
No, I don't think so. Dude, it's been so long, I don't even remember. And that's sad.
I
It
think the
really,
past 3 months have been like 8 years, really.
I don't think I did. Yeah, I think that was my last show before, this whole COVID thing.
So I know the show before that was when I think the show before that's when you worked Vane Lewis.
Van
Um,
Lewis.
Vane Lewis in Rutland. He was the heavyweight champ.
Oh, when I did the intergender thing.
Yeah, he's actually one of the guys that trained me. I broke in with him and that other one, David Day.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to remember. Does he got a goatee? And he's like
yeah,
blonde. Sure. Okay. All right. Okay. I meet so many people and it just really, sucks because like I want to remember everybody's name. I want to give respect to everybody and like you just can't. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
Plus, I want to watch everybody's matches, but when you're doing shows that are like, you know, between 4 to 12 hours, you know what I mean, and you got work the next morning, and the only reason how you could do that show was literally drive the night before, get there, do the show, and then drive all night with barely any sleep, and then and then go to work. Like, being an adult sucks.
oh yeah, yeah. For every one of the TWA shows, I was getting up in the morning and being at work at 8 a.m., working till 4:30, grabbing my gear and going straight to the building. So by the time the show rolls around and my match gets going, if I'm not first or second match, I'm like, does anyone have
Yeah, yeah, I shine there.
being that exhausted and trying to do this super excited, crazy character is so hard because I'm like trying to act like I've got on this ball of energy, and I'm really just like, I just want a nap.
I bet.
Um, so talk about some of the places where you've wrestled, some of them you've worked. 'Cause I know OVW and there, and I'm sure you've wrestled a lot more places than just the two.
Oh yeah, no, like I wrestled down in Orlando, Florida. That was awesome. Oh my gosh. Shout out to oh, oh my gosh, I'm being such an idiot. Like literally, like and plus I was literally just oh my god. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. Why am I Oh, Pro Wrestling 2.0. Duh.
Okay.
God, that was so embarrassing. No, I swear. Like Pro Wrestling 2.0 and Alex Porto, like, oh my gosh, they've helped me so much. And plus the people that they
So your mic just
and she's
your
in my
thing just
garage,
froze up.
but that's okay. No, but I'm serious though about like Alex Porto and everything. Like I'm dead serious. That a great school, just a great school. I don't like, but yeah, no. And then I wrestled down in Tampa, and I wrestled in Wisconsin and Missouri, and Pennsylvania and Michigan and a bunch of other different places. Chicago. Um, God, like oh my God, I've wrestled everywhere. It's awesome and it's amazing.
Yeah, so far, I've only really been in West Virginia and Ohio, but it gets kind of tricky doing that stuff with two kids and make it with a really crappy car.
Yeah. No, I know how that is.
For a while, I had a decent
My,
minivan,
my
and I would
trail,
load 7 guys in it. Huh?
seriously, my Trailblazer sounds like it's a hoopty. Dead serious.
That sounds about like the last car I had. I had like I said, I had a van, and I would load people up, and I'd get all the wrestlers to pitch in, and we'd drive to wherever we're going, and that thing always had me convinced we weren't going to make it.
That was the whole reason why I even got a Trailblazer in the first place, was because I needed to get a new car, and I had a Toyota Camry at the time, just a small little tight little thing. And I'm just like, if I'm doing these wrestling trips and if I'm going to be having people ride with me, because at the time I was, riding with people and picking people up and stuff, I might as well get a Trailblazer and have room for luggage and merchandise, and, and we could sleep in it if we needed to, depending on how many people, we had, but still. And then once I get it, it's just like, oh, no, I'm doing show over here. Oh, I'm doing show over here. Oh, well, just
It's like, oh,
schedule.
that was money well spent.
Yeah, but it helped when I needed to move. So.
Yeah, I learned really quick that when I was loading up the guys to kind of eyeball them all first and figure out who I could put where in the van because weight distribution. I'd be like,
Just,
you're fat, you're sitting here, you're skinny, you're over there, and people are like,
yep.
hey, I'm like, hey, trust me, my shocks, no.
Yeah, no, my baby needs to tune up.
Yeah, I ended up blowing the transmission in that thing in Parkersburg, and I think a week later, a friend of mine that I met through wrestling, even though he's not a wrestler, I'm sure you remember him. Richard Hewlin takes all the pictures at the shows.
Oh yeah.
He sold me a car that he was trying to sell. He sold it to me for $600 on payments because he knew I needed a vehicle.
He's such a cool dude. I love that guy.
I've been to
Yep.
a few shows where the crowd is dead, and I'll just solo him out. And be like, the crowd's dead, but I'll have fun with you.
Yeah, now
Although
he always Tootsie Pops every time he sees me.
I did feel bad at one show because I accidentally strangled him with his camera strap. I had decided I was going to take his camera, and it
I mean,
wrapped
he
around.
I mean, Everything's fine, I guess.
I think that's one way to bring you into the show.
Huh?
I said that's one way to bring him into the show, attempting to murder the man.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'll admit, there's several shows I worked at up in Chillicothe that him being there was one of the highlights for me, just because I knew him. Like, at least there's one fan that gets it.
Yep. Yep. He was
I
the
mean,
first that I've ever met that like got it. You know what I mean? And just respects the business and and gets into it, but and like buys stuff here and there and just show mad respect to the dude. Like seriously, he was so cool, especially my first time in Chillicothe. Oh my gosh. That was just insane in this old building. It was like this rec center at a county fair.
yeah.
And and huh?
Bobby Fulton.
Yeah. And but yeah, oh my gosh. And then what was really cool though is he would always get like a lot of like, the veterans. I don't want to offend by saying like their age or anything, but like, the veterans. And they'd come in and I'd be in the locker rooms with them and I'm just hearing these stories and I'm just like, this is the most coolest thing ever. I don't care that like half this building is like falling down and like,
Oh yeah.
and the bathrooms are like I heard they tore down that building and they built a new one, but like, it's still the fact that like even the veterans were like, man, I remember back in 1970 something, and we were here in this building, in this locker room, and we were talking to so and so, and I'm like, oh my god. Like seriously, I think it's really cool, especially when they did everything old school, babyface locker room and heel locker room. And so here with all the baby faces, and I happen to be a baby face, and that was just my time there was amazing. I will always give that to Bobby because the experiences that I've had and plus the conversations that I've had with veterans and just and the opportunities just to even get to meet them, like it was just really cool.
See, I'm assuming if you worked there, have you had a chance to meet AEW's biggest fan, Jim Cornette?
I met him technically twice, but the first time I just it was a battle royale or something like that, and where we had to go over the top rope and to get eliminated, and I didn't know that he was going to be commenting. This was something for OVW way back in the day, and I didn't know he was going to be commentating. And literally ODB, it was so awesome. She ended up throwing, and I mean this girl launched me because I told her, I was like, girl, I have a little trouble going over because I'm still like new. She goes, don't worry, I got you. Okay.
She got you.
And she's like this tall on me, so I'm like, okay. I mean, I know you're a big, strong girl, but girl, I mean, I don't know. I'll never doubt her strength and her ability ever again. I didn't have to do anything. She did it all herself. Threw me over, and I fell down. Just boom. It was perfect. And then all of a sudden, I hear Jim Cornette's voice saying something like, "Oh yeah, no, that girl. What was the point of her coming in? She automatically got thrown out. Da 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 da. Because I ended up doing something stupid in the ring, and so well, duh, because that's I'm famous for that." But but yeah, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm just like, oh my gosh, Jim Cornette is actually again totally in my mind fangirled, which is weird because like I know some people love him, some people hate him, some people are like, and I'm just like, you know what? There are people, there's a lot of people. Okay, like that'd be like That'd be like a Republican and a Democrat. You know what I mean? Like, and a Democrat person gave a compliment, like that's like famous or whatever, actually gave a compliment to somebody who was like Republican. Like, obviously, the person is going to be like, not, I mean, like, kind of weirded out, but like at least respect the fact that, oh wow, you gave me a compliment. Like, oh, that's really
Yeah.
cool. And person of power and shit. Like, so like, But yeah, and then the second time, yeah, that was in Chill Coffee, and oh my gosh, he like I had a great experience. I know some people have their own, and I haven't had a bad experience yet. So, but yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I've got my own ritual during each week. I will, Monday I'll watch Being the Elite because I like watching wrestlers be stupid. Then Tuesday I'll watch Dark. Wednesday I'll watch Dynamite. I don't really watch WWE at all. But then Thursday and Friday I watch all of Jim Cornette's ranting about AEW. I'm like, I enjoy this as much as watching the show.
It's because he's got that passion, that connectivity, like, and I get it. Like, okay, but like, what other, like, I don't know how to explain this because I obviously don't want to, like, have people take anything the wrong way. But, it's just, I mean, you got to respect the man for what he did in the business back in the day. Okay. Well, I think most people could agree with that, right? And how he cuts promos and but like, granted, yeah, is he a little weird? I mean, who isn't a little weird?
Exactly.
Pro wrestling. If you ain't a little weird, something's wrong with you. You know what I mean? Like, so like, it's one of those things. You like my fake smile at the end?
I can actually do it now, finally.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's it. He's one I haven't got to meet. I think two of the biggest names I've met so far have been probably Sabu and Shane Douglas.
Oh yeah, no, I love Shane Douglas. He is a totally cool dude. I met Sabu once. He was a cool dude, and his wife. Well, I don't know. Are they technically married or?
I'm not totally sure, but I know they're together.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think they'll ever get break up. But yeah, no, I got like what's really cool is I got to a lot of people don't understand this, and like I was a big fan of the Boogeyman. Okay. Like, I thought it was the most coolest character. At first, it was a little weird, but because he was so into it and so, like, just 1,010%, like, just kicked it up so many levels. It was just, when I got to meet him, I was just like wow, like I totally like, obviously I'm trying to be professional on the outside because you don't want to be that type of person in the back that's always like, oh my god, that's why I never take pictures with anybody. I mean, like, sometimes I do, like, if like I'm actually friends with them and stuff, but like if I'm not friends with you and and I respect your work and everything like that, I'm not gonna I'm gonna take a picture with you. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather get your respect through, you also respecting my work just as much as I respect your work, or if we actually like become friends. You know what I mean? I feel like, there are some boundaries you shouldn't cross. But again, but other people like, getting their pictures taken and stuff like that. So, it all depends on them. But yeah, no, when, I got to meet Boogeyman, I got to actually like have a little like conversation with him. Oh my gosh. That was cool. I obviously kept my mouth shut, but like in my head, I'm like, oh. And a lot of people, and I hate it when people go and say, oh, well, he didn't do anything. And I'm like, first of all, he had a couple of moves, just like Cena, just like Austin, just like, all these other people. And it was the character. Like, a lot of people don't need to understand it. It's just, I like his character. I like how it's different. I like how, plus, especially like when Kane was like, had the full mask on and everything like that. I was totally into that character too. It's just when he took it off and then like, it was just him and he wasn't like the Red Demon anymore. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just my type of style of people, but I also liked Undertaker. A lot of people hate this though. Like when he had the Kid Rock theme song.
Oh yeah.
That was my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I'm sorry. Like
Oh, I
I
loved it.
like when he, I am American Badass. Watch me get. Sorry, it, I just, but then also, it takes me back to my childhood and what it meant to me and what stood out to me. Everyone else is different, and everyone sees wrestling different, and that's awesome because that's how we are able to have all these different characters and these different types of wrestlers. And you've got your serious wrestlers, you've got your funny wrestlers, you've got your old school, you got your new school, you got your mixture, you've got your characters, you've got just everything. You know what I mean? So.
Listen, I hate when you get wrestlers that take themselves really seriously. Like,
Yeah.
even if it's just the gimmick, I'm like, come on. I know when I first got into it, I think it seems like most guys, especially when they first get into business, everyone wants to be the badass. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be this serious guy. I no nonsense. And I tried that, and it just didn't work.
No, I'm cool, man. I just go in there. Let's have some fun. Depending on the pay, obviously, the type of level and where we're at, on the card and stuff. Depending on, what I'm going to put in and everything. But more importantly, let's have fun. Let's have a great show. Let's tell a story. Let's, go ahead and let's do this like how it should be done. Let's bring the house down, or let's just have some fun, or like let's build this up, or
Yeah, I think for me, the more I just focus on having fun with my character and with who Vincent Cross is, and the less I tried to be serious, and the more I started doing the laughing and the slapping myself and everything else, which all sort of happened because I'm kind of a klutz. So I would get in the ring, and every once in a while there was things like, just trip and fall on something. I got 2 left feet. But if you work that into a character that he's crazy, now it's not that, oh, he's just a klutz. It's this guy's crazy. I
mm-hmm.
might not convince you that I'm a great wrestler, but I might convince you that, does he like what they're doing to him?
Oh yeah.
But talking about character work, we'll pull back the curtain a little bit. What's your favorite way to work, face or heel?
Oh, heel.
I don't think I've ever met maybe one person ever that's like being a face.
I mean, like, I've been face before, and it has its moments. Merchandise sales help out a lot, you know, and and but I mean, if you're also a really good heel, that also really shouldn't affect you anyways. I mean, unless you're really good and people hate you to where they're not buying your stuff, then yeah, that's But it's just like, it's just like when you go to a school. What's going to be easier? Have people hate you or have people like you? You know what I mean? When you're going to a new school and you're kissing ass and you're just like trying to have people like you, it's hard. But when you go to a school and you just don't give a fuck and people will hate you at first, you know what I mean? Because they don't really know you or understand you. And then until they actually get to know you, then they're like, oh, wow, no, you're actually a really cool person. No, I'm down with you. Then it's easier to be a baby face. I mean, I do know a lot of girls that actually like to be baby face. They love being in the spotlight and then moving on and stuff like that. And more power to you. But, like, and that's another thing is some people need to understand that not everyone, my dad told me this a long time ago. And it's not about pro wrestling, but it can be used as like something to think about for pro wrestling. He said that you need to know, you need to know where you're at in life and what you're really supposed to be. And what he meant by that is not everyone is going to go to college to become a doctor. Not everyone has that potential. Not everyone can withstand. And even if you do have the potential, do you like poking and prodding people? Do you like seeing blood? Do you like seeing crazy stuff? Okay, like no, I can't do that. you said that there's nothing wrong with people having trades, with people even just being like a garbage man. You know what I mean? If that's all they can do, hey, more power to them. Let them go ahead and do that and let them be the best that they can be, because no matter what, no matter if it's whether it's like you're a garbage man, a doctor, or like, or a pet groomer, okay? If you're good at what you're doing, you will automatically succeed through the business to where you're at the top, to where now you can either open up your own business, yada yada. Same thing with pro wrestling. Not everyone is going to be a star. Not everyone is going to be a serious wrestler. Not everyone is going to be a flippy doodad, Cirque du Soleil type wrestler. Not everyone is going to be a funny wrestler. Not everyone is going to be a bad wrestler. Not everyone is going to be, a main event. You have to fill those spots from, first all the way to last. And you have to, know like where you're at and how you should tell a story and where you're at and how to read a crowd and how to like elevate the crowd. And I'm still learning all this too, just because like, I might be like saying it right. I still have problems like, trying to connect and everything like that. That's why I like being a heel, because it's so much easier to have people hate you. Like it just, and it don't bother me at all. Let the haters hate, because I always wear my hated black sunglasses. I wish I had a pair with me right now, but shout out to hated black sunglasses, because I just block out all the hate. And yeah, and then I'm just off my own world. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, and as long as you understand that you can be the best mid card, if you're the best mid card, that means you're going to be on every single show, and you're not going to be doing a ton of crazy stuff. You're not going to have a long, super, a 20-minute match or anything like that. You're not going to, need to do all that. You literally just, you get your money, you have your fun, and you go. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like I could, like, obviously with more training and more experience, because even though I'm 30, I'm about to be 33 in August. Okay. I got into this business so late. So to me, I feel like I'm still technically green, and, and I feel like I like the mentality I understand, but obviously trying to transition that outward into like my facial expressions and my move sets and the way how I think about things, that's still hard for me. It like, I'm not going to lie, like, but I'm always open to ideas. I always try to listen to other people. I always try to, write stuff down and, what works and what doesn't. And, that's all you really do. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I know. Speaking of being the best at the, being good at being the mid card, I think I kind of got that so far, or at least I'm good at making people think I know what I'm doing. But yeah, I don't think anyone ever in this business ever really gets where you're, fully trained or all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's guys like Shawn Michaels who can make an argument for that, but they're few and far between.
Yeah.
I remember TWA, the night that they kind of had you face Stacey Patterson. I think before that you'd been working there as a babyface. Am I right? For Brad down in Rutland.
Yeah. No, I was there as a baby face for a little bit until I faced Stacey Patterson. Yep.
I remember the exact reaction when Brad said you're going to work Stacey and you were going to go heel was, yes! I was like,
I'm sorry. I is it weird that I like getting my ass kicked? Like, I'm just saying. But yeah, no, that was, well, because I mean, like, that's another thing. It's like, I mean, some people can do it. I know a lot of wrestlers that can do it. It's just, I know what I can and can't do, and there's no way I can do a baby match. Like, I mean, I can, but like, it would just, I'd overthink about it. I would, and then I'd put stuff in that wouldn't make sense, and like it'd be a whole, colossal. Like it just no. I'd rather just
do a few of those.
Huh?
I've had to do a few of those. When they first turned me babyface, it was supposed to work Vanish, and he left. So I turned babyface to work someone that was no longer there to work. So for like the next 5 shows, I wrestled straight baby faces who are already established, and I'm trying to work as a baby face, and it's so tricky. I wrestled Trey Evers, and we just said, let's just go out there and let's just do moves and have fun. And that was the hardest I've ever had to work in one match, just because there was no story. It was just everything I would do. He was small, so he'd counter it, and he kept me moving. I'm like, let me rest. Heat, please, heat.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, God, you never want to say those words in front of Rip. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, we're just doing moves. Oh,
Well, I mean, there was a story, but it wasn't the traditional story.
huh?
I said, I mean, we had a story, but it wasn't a traditional story. It was, we'd wrestle each other enough times that the fans knew that we knew each other. So it was kind of like that. Let's top that story.
I live down in Louisville. Oh my gosh, the knowledge that man has, like, and that's another thing. Some people like him, some people hate him. But honestly, like with me, I mean, I never really had a problem. So this is the experience that I'm coming from, and his knowledge of an audience is just like I can listen to that. I can listen to that man talk all day, every day. Plus, he would make me laugh. So,
yeah, I knew when Brad told me that day that he was going to have you work Stacy, that I was like, I knew for one you were going to have an easy night because I've worked her myself, and I also knew that turning heel against her would be that much easier because it's hard to wrestle her or her brother in a baby on baby match. I wrestled Timmy, I think, 3 times, twice as a heel and once as a baby.
I mean, like, it could. I mean, it really could. But we would have to really, like, we would have to do some creative thinking and, like, but nothing like elaborate. Is just more like the mannerisms in between the stuff and how we were to tell the story of how we are going to be respecting each other and yada yada. And then, like, but it just, no.
Well, the biggest problem with them too, trying to work baby against them, is Mama Patterson sitting out there in the front row. You hurt her baby, and she's just ready to kill you.
So mad. I think I said something like, "Why don't you get a new set of teeth or something?" Oh yeah, I'm not nice at all, and oh my gosh, this one time I was working at MAW in Cleveland, and oh my gosh, let me tell you, put it this way, I was working for an immigration lawyer at the time, and it just so happens that MAW is owned by some I don't want to, like, I don't even know how to, okay, I'm just gonna say it, owned by some Puerto Rican guys, okay, and their crowd is a bit Hispanic. Well, thank God I got permission first. I mean, thank God I got permission first, because it was getting kind of bad. I'd asked them, I was like, hey, I work for an immigration lawyer. Do you mind if I start, like, throwing out, because I was working a girl who was from the Dominican Republic too. So I was like, oh, even though Puerto Ricans, they're American citizens, you know what I mean? So that really shouldn't bother them. But because, like, being Hispanic and stuff like that, a lot of people take it as an insult. And he said yes. So I got permission. I came out and I looked at the crowd and I was like, oh, you guys look like a bunch of illegals. Where's your I-130s? I want to see your alien numbers. Oh, what about your I-485s? What about your not your permit, but your God, your this and that, and just, oh my God. I had this one woman literally go all the way up to the barriers, and she was just like, just going off, and then I started cursing at her in Spanish.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God, it was priceless. I didn't have to do anything. Nothing. Got in the ring. The other girl came out. She had her Dominican flag, and I was like, boo. And everyone was like,
At that
yeah.
point, you could have stole the show with a headlock.
Oh my gosh. It was awesome. It was ridiculous. That's how awesome it was. Because everyone wanted me. Like, even when I would start, like, like doing, my evil shit, right? And, everyone was just like, fuck you. Fuck you, bitch. Like, we ain't with it. And I'm like, oh shit. So I tell her, hey, you gotta go. And so fucking she, fire up on me and stuff. And oh my gosh, the crowd's like, yeah, kick her ass. It was bad. It got so bad to where, like, I would come out, to where, like, the merch people were, and I'd be sitting there, talking to, the other wrestlers and everything. And some of the people, they'd look by and they'd have, like, this evil look on their face and kill you. And I'm like, well, thank God my boyfriend's here. Like, yeah, that was a little scary night, but he loved it. That's all that mattered. I'm just, I'm that bitch.
I think the greatest heel moment I ever had was, I don't know, do you know who Paul Harley is, wrestling promoter in Ohio?
I mean, I might recognize the face, but...
He runs a company called Southern Championship Wrestling out of Zanesville. But he
no!
Huh?
I want to go to Zanesville. I got a friend out there.
Yeah, he was running a show for a festival show, and I got invited by a friend of mine who broke into business shortly after I did, and his mom had just passed away, and he said, would you come and work a match with me? I want to dedicate it to my mom. So, of course, you don't tell someone no in that situation.
Yeah.
So I get there, and they change the match, and now I'm teaming with this guy. I'm like, okay. And they said, we're going over clean. After the match, they wanted me to attack him. And after I left, he was going to give a speech about his mom and have his little heartfelt moment. The match is over. We won. And he goes ahead and just grabs the mic. And he tells me, I'm going to cut the promo first. Then I want you to attack me. I'm like, wait, you're dedicating what we just did to your mom, and then I'm beating you up? So we did it. He's talking about how she just passed away a few months ago, and this is for you, Mom, and, being this super baby face. And I give him a hug, and I lean and I kissed him on the cheek. And then I hit a diamond cutter. And the place just goes silent. And I grabbed, I like looked down at him. I picked up the mic and I said, and that ass kicking was for your mom too. And as I'm walking to the back, there's this old woman sitting there, and she just looks up at me and she goes, you're just a real fucking asshole, aren't you? And I just kept on going. I didn't think I was going to make it out of that town alive.
Yeah. No, I made a lady in Cleveland at another show. It was PWR and Premier Championship Wrestling, and or no, not PCW. I don't know, but it's Premier. Well, anyways, but yeah, some lady with an oxygen mask, and she's got her tank and everything. I got that girl so mad. She's trying to rip it off and go. I thought it was hilarious.
All right. I kind of. This is why I wish I was actually organized, because I have no notes or anything with me. So,
Right.
Yeah, Vanish and I were talking about that. We're like, we'll be organized, and we're so disorganized that he has to work. So he was here for the pilot so far. Other than that, he's kind of been like this invisible co-host.
Oh, that's all right.
Um,
I'm just in my garage, just living it up, living the dream, owning a house. Well, this is my second house, but yeah, that's a lot of fun. Renovations. I've got chickens. I started off with 12 and now I have 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, when you've got, like, I don't know, coyotes and and other stuff that eats chickens because I don't. Oh, raccoons.
Yeah.
Yeah. My chicken coop is the most hillbilliest chicken coop you've ever seen. Like it is like it is like the trashiest thing you've ever seen.
So it's the kind of chicken coop
They're
that if
like,
you were in a wrestling show, you cut a promo on it.
yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna cut a promo on this stuff, dude. This okay, this my chicken coop. Okay, I've got two sheds, right? I got it like a metal one and like a wood, like a one that's made out of like wood, right? But it's like a lot smaller, and so I got the chickens in there. And I went to like Rural King and Tractor Supply, and I would take their free pallets. I take my boyfriend's truck and load them up in the bed of his truck, then drive all the way to the back of the property. And I've got and then like at the very back of our property, we had like a bunch of random wood. Like we had a door, we had like a part of a privacy fence back there, and like some other things. And I'm like, I'll use this too to screw, and this will be like the outside part. And like I netted it. It just, oh my god, it's the most trashiest thing you've ever seen.
Hey, as long as it works.
Like, because I do want to end up getting like a real chicken coop with like a chicken run and everything that's like, you know, pretty and stuff. But I want to do it with Carolina coops. And I've done a lot of research on them and they look phenomenal. They're just expensive. But for good quality, you know.
Maybe they'll sponsor you too then.
Carolina coops, that's where it's at if you want a homestead.
You all owe her money now.
Yeah. And Twisted Tea. Make sure you get one.
We'll keep pushing that one.
There ain't nothing like a hot summer's night around a campfire and, you know, the random cats of the neighborhood, and you're just sitting back, listening to some music and drinking a tea. Oh, it might help if I had the whole right.
And I'm sure that if you can get them to sponsor you, that we can get you some Twisted Tea ring gear made.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I just want Twisted Tea frosted cherries. That's all I want. That's only a limited time or whatever it's called. Like it's limited edition every winter. And then supposedly they have a black cherry out. But no, of course, the one place that actually got it in, mind you, there's probably about 10 places that I know of right now that not only carry, and I'm not talking about like carrying Twisted Tea and like half and half and like peach and like just those three flavors. No. I mean, like the original, like, like if you don't got anything else, but still, raspberry, blackberry, and frosted cherry. I'm telling you, that's where it's at. But all those places that actually carry like those extra flavors, only one of them had black cherry, and they had it for 2 days. Wow. 2 days, 3 cases gone. Yeah, I've been dying to get on one of those, but you know, it is what it is. Pro wrestling bartender sound like an alcoholic, but
yeah.
But at least I'm not doing shots.
Hey, you leave my whiskey and shots alone. That was jarring.
What other wrestling stuff would you like to know?
Well, let's go to the fun stuff, the dirt. Any like places you've worked that you had, you know, it's easy to talk about the good experiences, but places where you've had the bad, or people you've worked with that were bad.
I've only had one, and one bad experience, thank God, and I thank the Lord every day with having a bad experience wrestling somebody. And that's how I got my concussion. And let's put it this way. I am I'm obviously holding myself back because I want to make sure that like I don't say anything stupid or start anything. But let's just put it this way. As long as we just don't wrestle ever again, I'm cool. You know what I mean? We
Okay.
don't like, I'm one of those people in the locker room where I'm friends with a lot of people that don't like each other. Like I'm, you know, because that's how I am. I'm one of
Yeah.
those type of people where I base my stuff on experiences. Don't get me wrong. If I hear stuff, you know, I'm obviously going to like try to protect myself, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to give every single person a fair chance. You know what I mean? And once you cross that line is crossed, you know, I wipe my hands and I'm done. You know what I mean? I don't put up with that bullshit. And when I'm at a show, I want to have fun. I don't want to deal with drama. This isn't high school. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So, and so far, everything has been great, and that's all that matters. I lied. There's two, but I just now thought of the other one. But the other one is she's so like no nah. I got to wrestle again, and we good.
Not worth a name, huh?
Oh no, I can't. No, I don't do that type of stuff. I mean, if other people were to talk about it and if they were to start it, then obviously, yes, I will go ahead and finish it. That is the type of person I am. But I'm not the type of person to start the stuff and to say people's names because, you know, you still got to have like, no matter how much you despise somebody, you still have to give that type of respect, especially in this type of a business. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't have that. They just automatically go, oh, well, so-and-so is this, and so like that. And I'm just, you know what? I really don't care. Like, I really don't.
I don't blame you there. I think the people I've spoken out about, because Vidish asked me, and there's a few of them where I'm like, yeah, this person. But it's people that were either completely untrained or people who were supposed to be veterans that I want to shoot on people that were untrained. And or complete shit promoters. And people like that, it's like those are
Maybe
bridges.
that, like,
Those are the bridges that I don't mind burning.
it's so funny.
Like,
But yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. But even if I were to like, oh, no, my battery. You still there?
yeah, I'm
Am I
here.
there? No, my whole screen just went black on my phone. But yeah, no, it's just like it was just so I don't even want to even talk more about it because I don't want to end up getting it pinpointed. And because right now everything is cool and I want to leave it that way. That's all I want to say with that. But the one other girl that I totally forgot about.
We're on number 3.
I'm not gonna say no name. I'm not gonna say no character. I'm not gonna say nothing like that. But yeah, I ain't wrestling her ever.
So you won't be sharing a twisted tea with her after the show.
And no,
Okay.
Man. God no, God no. But you know, twisted tea, you gotta love them.
All right. Well, we're looking at almost 1 a.m. now, and I think you said your phone's about dying, so we should probably start wrapping this up.
Okay.
Anything else that you want to say to the listeners, or?
I mean, if we want to get down to it, I'm just a pro wrestler trying to live my life. I love to entertain, and you know, if you can't understand that, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna be me. I'm the pro wrestling bartender. It is what it is, and I can do anything.
I've seen enough of your matches, and that's absolutely true.
Yeah, I mean, I try. I mean, I'm not really good at like promos or anything. I'm really good at like reading a script. Oh yeah. Oh, you want me to say this? Okay, and then like kind of go off of that. No problem. But actually, like creating stuff, no, I'm such a dud up here. It's ridiculous. It's like trying to make the wagon wheel go with nothing.
I'm good with the promos. It's the the bell to bell stuff that I think sucks. I figure if I can get over enough that the fans are already into it before the bell rings, I've already done my job.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's why I can get people to hate me really good. But, you got to do more than just that. You have to actually know how to wrestle. You have to know how to read a crowd. You have to know all those type of things. You have to be able to have a crowd follow you. You have to be able to like do all that other type of stuff. But, just as long as my fans know I do have a passion for this, and no matter if I'm at the big top or I'm still at the bottom, it doesn't matter to me. You're more than welcome to come up to me and say hi, and just obviously don't be weird, because I don't want to be weird back. But
Yeah,
like
Richard.
I'm a cool chill person, and if I'm meant to go ahead and win, and I'm gonna go and be a bitch and just be like, I'm supposed to win, but if she ends up kicking my ass anyways, well, obviously it's gonna be a really good show, because maybe I wasn't supposed to win. No one knows.
Absolutely. That's the joy of wrestling, right?
Exactly. It's just like watching like Harry Potter or like Lord of the Rings, or well, I've never seen Lord of the Rings, but like you wouldn't like Harry Potter if Voldemort wasn't that bad.
I don't like Harry Potter anyways half the time. I still kind of cheer Voldemort. That's how you know you're a pro wrestler, right? When you start siding with the heel.
No, when I lived down in Florida, dude, and I was doing I was working, well, not working, but like I was taking lessons at Pro Wrestling 2.0. I worked at Universal, and our badges got us in for free. Oh my gosh, that's all I can say. You gotta work for Universal. You've got to at least once in your life. You have to. The free stuff you get, the percentages off of merchandise, food. You can get to Harry, and you can ride the Hogwarts Express and get to all three parks, and it's amazing. I love it. I feel like if I were to ever get like really old and I just wanted like an easy job, I would work back for the call center at Universal and literally sit there at my desk like how I was with my headset and going, "Thank you for calling Universal. This is so like, yeah." Oh God, I miss those days.
I don't blame you there. It sounds like like a good place to work, for sure.
Oh gosh, I mean, like they didn't have benefits or anything like that, like so it wasn't that good of a job, and you had to work on commission, which like totally stinks. But as long as you have a significant other or somebody in your household that's paying the bills, making the buku bucks and everything, you yourself can live off of what they give you and with commission and everything. But you also got to remember, during the summertime, a lot of hours. Wintertime, not a lot of hours. And if you're just part-time, you're not getting that guaranteed 40 hours. And it just, oh my God, oh my God, that was awful. I mean, just awful, even with the perks, but like the perks helped.
They should start giving the old McMahon spiel. We don't offer anything except opportunities here.
And the best part about it is I get why he says that. And it just, oh my God, it cracks me up because to me, that reminds me of like my parents and just being so old school about everything. And just like, you have to, work your ass off and work for nothing for years before you can even make money. And just like, oh my gosh, and the yada, yada, yada. But yeah, no, I totally get that. We only give opportunities. Oh my gosh, Vince McMahon cracks me up. A lot of people love him. A lot of people hate him. He cracks me up. That's all I can say. But I've also never really worked with him personally, so it might be different.
Well, maybe eventually.
Yeah, hopefully. But there are other places like AEW and Impact and Ring of Honor and and all these other places. So hopefully all of them get big, because in that way there's bigger platforms, there's more big platforms, and that way more wrestlers can actually come and get more jobs and stuff. Like
Oh, absolutely.
isn't it the whole dream itself? is to, especially like with New Japan and, you know, stuff in Korea and Russia and India, you know what I mean? Like how cool is that, that you can, instead of just saying that, oh, I was in, you know, like that, and this is what, like, I totally, like, I envy from these other wrestlers that have traveled to China, have traveled to Korea, or South Korea, have traveled to Thailand, have traveled to India, have, you know, to Canada and Russia and like in Spain and Germany and England, all these places. But what shocks me is, oh, they're good enough for every single other platform. But WWE, they're like, no, we're gonna turn our nose to you. Like, are you insane? But you know what? If that's what if WWE wants, you know, the, like, you know, taking from the bottom to the top or whatever, you know, that's their business. That's, you know, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. You know what I mean? And that's why I really love seeing all these other, you know, promotions coming about, is because, like, you know, there are different products out there. There are different wrestlers out there. Like, I mean, like, come on, like, when was the last time that you worked for a big company and that big company in your contract allowed you to be able to do small shows and like house shows, or like, you know, besides just autograph sessions, no, like actually doing shows for like benefits or something like that. Like, you can't even do that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's neither here nor there. But anyways, I'm just glad that there's multiple platforms, and I love how, you know, and everyone is trying to compete with each other, and we're now seeing like this new wrestling world that's coming in, and it's just like, it's awesome in my opinion. I really think it's awesome. Yeah, does it make my job harder because, you know, more people coming in, yada yada, and then you just end up getting lost? Yeah, it does. But again, I'm just so thankful and happy that I'm even in this business, let alone the places that I've been, you know, the companies that I've worked for. You know what I mean? I'm always going to be thankful. And every single time, I'm just going to go in and do the best that I can, and just and have fun, and just enjoy it before, you know, it's your time to go.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm very glad that, you know,
Think
things are.
there, that's a little alcohol talking.
Seems like every company getting better. It just means that the indie shows are going to draw more too, um, and of course they draw better. The payouts get better, and
Exactly. Like, I mean, like, what's really crazy is, like, I understand the, like, the business aspect of it. And I'm not saying like I know how to run a promotion or anything, but my parents own businesses. I've ran their businesses before I left, and did, you know, my own thing with my wrestling and everything like that. I used to do all that. So, but now I'm also on the other side. So I not only have I been the customer side, I've been the employee side, and I've been the business owner side. I can see everything, and I understand why Vince is the way how he is. I understand why other companies are the way how they are. And if you just, as long as you can understand that and try to work your best around it, you can get far. You can, you know, do all that, unless you sign your life away for barely any percentage off your merchandise, and, you know, and barely 30 grand a year, like, and but you're traveling the world and you have to pay for all your own airfare and all.
yeah, that don't work.
Yeah, exactly. It's called have a lawyer look at your stuff. Never just automatically sign. Always come with a rebuttal. But again, if you do come with a rebuttal, then they have the right to go, you know what? If you don't want to go with our contract, bye-bye. They got a right to do that. So I'm going to say that's your judgment.
A reasonable rebuttal.
Yeah, but I would be the type of person that wouldn't be a reasonable rebuttal. Like, if I'm not at least getting, I would be asking for a ridiculous amount out of my merchandise. It would be stupid. They'd be like, no, you're dumb. And I'd be like, okay, well then I'm gonna just keep going and sell my stuff for a lot bigger of a profit than what you're doing. It's just you'd be on a bigger scale, yeah, but at least I get more of a profit with what I'm doing.
Yep.
But again, this is called capitalism.
Exactly.
A lot of people forget that. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother time, and with conspiracy theories and all that other type of stuff.
Well, we'll probably do this again sometime. Maybe we can do the conspiracy theory episode.
Hopefully, they'll bring out frosted cherry out of limited time and actually make it a permanent flavor. No one wants half and half twisted tea.
No,
Nobody.
it's
Definitely. When you do this podcast, make sure you tag twisted tea in it, because they need to understand no one drinks half and half. No one drinks peach. No one drinks mango and passion fruit. And it's just no. You go with raspberry, blackberry. If you like, what are they called? What are half and halves called? Like Arnold Palmer. And yeah, Arnold Palmer's. Like, okay, I get why you'd want to keep that, but like, and obviously the original, but like peach and mango and passion fruit, no, gross. Or at least change your peach flavor, because the peach flavor, I swear, is like the cheapest type of peach flavor you can get, and it's not good in my opinion.
We'll have to tell them to take some notes, huh?
But in my opinion, other people have opinions too, so
Yep. All right. Well, thanks again for doing the show, and I'll definitely, like I said, we'll have to bring you back on again sometime when we get Vanish with us too.
Oh hell yeah, this was fun. Hopefully, we won't have to deal with this COVID, and we can actually go ahead and drink twisted teas together.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, the wrestling world gets back to some degree of normal.
Yeah, I'm also a goofball. I really don't care. I mean, obviously, if I was like in Good Morning America, I'd be all like, hi. Yes, and then, and you know what I mean? But like podcasts, I'm sorry. I'm going to be chill. I'm going to be me.
That's the best way to be, right?
Exactly. And plus, I think it's a lot more fun that way too. But, alrighty.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do this again. So, I said again, thanks for being on the show, and we'll have to pull you on here again when we have Vanish, and I said maybe we'll jump into some of those conspiracy theories.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Or maybe we'll some wrestling conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah, wrestling conspiracy theories. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea on a lot of those. I'm not gonna lie. I would be a bad person. I know more government conspiracy theories than I do wrestling conspiracy theories, and that's a little sad.
Well, we'll just tie them together.
Okay, that works.
We'll replace all the names of the politicians with people like Hogan and Macho Man.
Don't even get me started on those two, man. Well, alrighty. Well, thank you for having me on your show.
No, absolutely. Have a good one.
Thanks, you too.